you should know the story of Jesus, because whenever I needed him, and I mean when I needed him, not just when I needed him, but when I needed him, I called on him just to come and hold me, just not rescue me to the next day, just come and hold me. Don't let me die alone. Come and hold me. And the most beautiful thing happened as I lay awake with my eyes open on my back in a bed, looking at the ceiling. The ceiling was like sand on a mirror getting blown away, like the reflection getting blown away. So the roof was there, then slowly a hole developed and reality blew away. Reality was microscopic particles of reflections of myself. You know, that's what it was like. It was like seeing seeing how it made a hole in reality was numbing, to say the least. Now, I was already laying there, figured I was dying. That's why I wanted him to hold me, because I knew I was going to die. Maybe I did die. I don't know what happened. I woke up the next morning. But so the ceiling starts to, ever so slight particles flake away, and a hole develops, a dark hole develops, and as I'm laying on my back, I'm slowly elevated up to the hole, kind of maybe probably not in my body. I don't think I looked around to see, but the view that I had pulled me up to the edge of the hole, and I was able to look through, and in on a throne, like a chair, a wooden chair, and really nice heavy-backed wooden chair, a woman holding a baby in her lap came propelling in, floating in. As she approached and got closer, I marveled at the undescribable fluidity dynamics of the clouds that were coming up from underneath the chair, that was propelling her. It was holding her up in this blackness that was all around. There was no stars. It was just blackness that she came floating in on this chair. So as she gets closer, I start to think, I've seen this setting, a woman holding a baby. And so I'm marveling at the gaseous, white, puffy, the spider webby, just the way this thing was propelled blew me away. And I know a lot about things. I'm an aircraft mechanic. I have education in a lot of fields and areas. And what I saw coming out from under that chair was out of this world, to say the least. So then she approaches and gets closer, and I realized that it's got to be the Virgin Mary. It's got to be that's the Christ she's holding. But I'm more marveling at her, because she's just this extremely beautiful, visually beautiful, of course. I mean, there was no hint of a flaw in any way. She had the perfect face, eyebrows, nose, cheeks, lips. Her hair was black as the blackest you can imagine. She had a blue robe on, and the blue robe was this deep blue that wasn't just blue. It wasn't just a visual color. It was there was more to it. Undescribable how there was more to it. Everything, there was more to it. Things that sounded also had visual sensations and feeling sensations. There was just this amazing, marvelousness to it that you can't describe. But the beautiful blue robe, the beautiful black hair, the most beautiful woman, she was looking at me with the most loving eyes, just like if you were a child and you came home to your mother with a good report card. Just this unlimited love. So then I noticed, okay, well, this is Mary. She's got a baby. She's holding a baby. That's got to be Jesus. So then I look at the baby. And he's kind of got his head snuggled into her chest and wasn't looking at me. She was. But then when I looked at him, just like if you thought somebody was looking at you, he knew I was looking at him. So ridiculous to say, huh? The baby turned and looked at me. Let's see if I can imitate the look. It was stern for a baby. It was stern. It was a disappointed look. Almost. I didn't feel crushed at the moment. But not what I expected. So as I'm looking at him and I'm looking in his eyes, the words come into my head. He didn't talk. The baby didn't talk. There was no directly into my head. And the words were, your body is the temple of the Lord. Your body is the temple of the Lord. Twice. Twice to make sure I heard it. And, it's a pretty simple thing, right? Here I was abusing my body, laying in bed, dying. And the message I get was, your body is the temple of the Lord. Your body is the temple of the Lord. Now, my Lord to me means God. So, temple to me means a creation to worship in, the creator of the God, to worship God, the temple. So this body of mine is the temple in which I am to worship God. It's not that difficult. I don't do a good job of it every day. I struggle. And I just shared with you this epiphany that happened to me in, I guess it was probably 1980. It was a long time ago. And it is more vivid to me than the dream I had last night or what I had for dinner yesterday evening. I can remember all aspects of it. I didn't follow through right away with the message. I went on for years and abused myself. But I finally think I got the message about, probably 15 or so years ago. So I drug the bottom with a lot of the lowest of the lows. And I always thought in my back of my head, the one thing I always kept in my mind was, whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, that you do unto me. And it was my excuse to stay with this dead end addiction, the dead endness of it all, the really no future. My spirit was not growing. I was learning a lot. I gained a lot of wisdom. People tell me I have a lot of good stories. But if I shared them all with you all at once, you probably have the same wrinkles as me. I haven't had an easy life. I could have. I could have had an easy life. I could have made decisions that I more fit into the machine and played my role as the cog in the machine, but I had time and experience to learn things and gather information. I hope that I've gathered information. And once you get to this point where you start to be able to recognize God, you've seen what he can do for you. I can't deny the existence. That's what people who don't understand about me, or people who have had near-death experiences who feel the same way I do, is that I have no choice. I can't deny that there's a God. What I saw was not of this world. You didn't get to see it, I understand, but I did. There would be no reason to lie about it. No reason for it to be so vivid in my mind still. But it is. There's still more lessons to learn from it. For the longest time, I questioned why, when I asked for Jesus to come and hold me, why did Mary arrive? Why did Mary arrive? And why was Jesus an infant? I asked for Jesus to hold me, and what I got was Mary holding the infant Jesus. Took me a long time to figure out that's what it was about, and that's still what it's about, but I know that down the road it could change to morph into some other meaning of as life presents itself. Mm-hmm. That's what life is. Staying alive, living life out, is to see what life presents to you and what you present yourself. How you treat your temple. Do you use it to worship God? Because there's no hiding in the temple. It's a temple he built for you. So all the deeds and all the things you do, how to put it, people want to know about heaven and hell. Well, I don't know, but I have gathered information over my years, and what I have come to currently believe, or choose to believe at this moment, is that this is a testing ground for your spirit. You have to learn things here in this earth, this bubble of realm. Otherwise, you can't be of use in the next. I always question why we're here on earth, and the devil has also been trapped here on earth, and I've always wondered about what was the point of that, but you have to look at it like your spirit too. Inside of you is spirit, trapped in the body, contained in the body, the vessel of the temple, is your spirit that continues on. You don't just die. It's all we see is birth and death, but if you don't learn the lessons that you're intended to, that are necessary for you to learn, then you folded back. You keep getting folded back in over and over and over and over until you get it right, until you learn. And then when you get to that point where you gained that much knowledge that he requires for you to have in the next realm, then you can pass. Then he lets you move on. That's how I believe now.